So, guys, today there was something that I remembered that I need to remake. I remember making this video about a while back, not acting on your emotions when it comes. So, if there's a major decision, if there's something that you particularly have in mind that you want to do, you should probably wait. And what I mean by this is that if there's an emotion that you're feeling at this moment, probably angry, sad, or just frustrated with something or someone, and you want to make a decision to whether to act on it, act on whatever feeling you're thinking about, I would say wait. I would say wait because there's a major dysfunction between your feelings and your thoughts going at the moment. When you're experiencing emotions, you need to remember that your emotions will drive you to do an action that you don't want to act on. And that's the beauty of experiencing emotions is that you're feeling all these emotions and you're feeling what you want to do about them. But see, there's always something that drives us to do an action, to do something that we might regret. We um, might not think about whenever the emotion um, was at the present moment. So you're probably like, what do you mean by this, John? Well, there's emotions all the time. We feel emotions all the time. But whatever the emotion rises, anger, sadness, happiness, we must wait until the perfect decision to make that decision. Because there's sometimes when we're feeling like this emotion too strong, right? We're feeling it too strong, and the thing is, you gotta keep waiting until you actually think with no emotion. So you're thinking of a decision of what to do, what's your action, but without an emotion. Because we might be thinking, oh, you know what, I hate this guy, and then you want to punch him in the face, you want to, just say something at his face, or, ridicule him, or um, stomp on him or something. But if you just wait for a good minute and actually think about all the possible outcomes that might happen, it's like if I was like Nikola Tesla, and I was like just thinking about the future and about what would happen if I did this and this and this and this. And you know what? Sometimes when we are too late to make that decision, we regret it. We either regret it and we're just like, oh well, but could have done better. How about we do better if we just wait and make a decision over time and not make a decision while we're feeling that emotion, right? Whenever we're feeling stuff, we tend to act on it right away, and that's not good. It's not the greatest idea to do anything, because whenever we're feeling like angry, we want to act on it. We want to act on whatever we're angry on, right? So if someone were to make me angry, right? Oh man, this guy just pissed me off or something. Now I might be thinking like, man, I want to snap his head off or something. But see, the thing is that if I act on my emotions and I just do that right away, I might be charged for, hitting somebody, hitting a guy. So that's not something I want to do, right? So, see, that's the thing. That's what you want to think about. Make a decision when you're not feeling these emotions. These emotions are on the high tide. But what you want to do is just calm down. Calm down a little bit and really rethink why that person make you angry, and keep rethinking, like rethink, and think again and again. Why should I make this decision, right? This decision of doing this, and really just sit there for a moment and really think about what to do, right? About the decision, you know. So if there was a guy who pissed me off, the only thing I would do was not lay my hands on him. What I would do is really think over time, like, how can I find my peace? How can I find peace throughout this situation, through this person, right? So my best option would be, okay, let me cut this guy off. Let me cut him off and never speak to him again, never bring him into my presence, never face to face with this person. So this is like a decision that I will make over time, because if I'm angry at this person, then to have peace between the both of us, then I'll gladly cut this person off. Cut him off of my life. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's that easy to cut someone off, right? If really they're not bringing me any peace, and I'm not bringing any peace to myself and to the environment, then why would I stay any longer in their presence, right? So this is what you have to think about. You have to really think about your decision whenever you're feeling these emotions. So let's say, for instance, I'm feeling sad, right? I'm feeling very sad. Oh, my girl broke up with me, right? I might be like super sad, depressed. I might go hang myself or something, you know? Well, I'm not gonna do all that, okay? I'm not suicidal. Calm down. Well, I was, but not anymore. I'm good. I love life. I'm gonna live life every day. But yes, I had a girl one time broke my heart into pieces. Well, I had many girls like that, but yeah, if there was a girl who broke my heart very, very foully, very foul, then I would think, I would experience these emotions and then think over time about my decisions, about my decision to keep this person in my life or not. And what is something that I would do, right, after this breakup, right? So my decision would be, okay, look, this girl broke up with me. I guess we're not going to work out. So then I can just cut them off out of my life, block them, unadd them, unfollow them, and I'll hit the gym. Work on my body, work on my fitness, and get to a level where it's like, oh, I'm gonna be irreplaceable whenever I hit the gym. And when I get out the gym, I'm never gonna get out the gym, but you know what I'm saying? It's like when I hit the gym and I hit the gym every day, then maybe I'll feel better, right? Now you're not gonna go and be sad and depressed and act out on this emotion at the moment just because some girl dumped you, right? You gotta think and experience this emotion, and don't act on it right away. Act on it when you've had time to heal. You had time to think. Not when you're very emotional. When you're very emotional, you don't act. You just think. Think and experience this emotion and have some peace of mind while you're at it. And this means that you go by yourself, go alone, in the park, in the wilderness, at the beach, wherever you are, and just chill out and just calm down and just really experience that emotion and really think about your decision. What's your next decision later on, right? You have lots of time to think, lots of time, right? You might be at work, you might be driving, you might be at home, not doing nothing, but you have so much time to think. I know you have time. And if you're always busy, while you're doing busy work, you have time to think and not experience emotions, I bet. But this is where it's great when you're busy, you're doing a whole lot of productivity, you have enough time to think, and that you won't be acting on that emotion. There's always a time where we're experiencing emotions. It's not just because it's not only when you get dumped or some guy made you angry. There's always something that's making you emotional. And what are all the emotions? Sad, angry, happy, stressed. There's a lot. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of emotions, right? I can't name them off of my head, but you know what I mean, you know. And whenever you're feeling these emotions and you're being emotional, think about it. Think about your next decision and your next step and what you want to do about that. But don't just go and act on it right away. See, a man is not a man when he goes and acts on his emotions. He sits and thinks and ponders and really makes a decision to act later on when he's made his mind up, when he's made enough connections, enough thought processes that he knows exactly what is wrong and what's right and his next step, right? So let me give you an example that I made. Somebody made me angry in my life, right? My immediate action was to go and get revenge and do something about it, right? But I mean, that was my emotion, right? But I didn't act on it right away. I thought about it and thought about it. I thought about it, and I made a decision, but I was still emotional at the time. I was like, this is like weeks or days later, and I was still emotional about it. But then I was like, Next morning, I was like, I'm not emotional, but I'm thinking about the decision that I made whenever I was emotional. Then I was like, okay, look, I shouldn't have done that. Now let me make a better decision, right? Now that my mind is clear, my emotions are not on the rise, not on the high tide. But then I thought about it, and I'm like, about like a week or 2 weeks later, and I'm like, you know what? This decision that I made was perfectly fine, perfectly clear. I know this person is not bringing me any peace, so what am I gonna do is really just not bring this person towards my presence, or have this person in my presence, or let me not be in his presence because it's just chaotic, right? So it's very simple about what I make with my decisions. Like, decisions can be made whenever you're not emotional, when you're clear headed. And sometimes you make decisions when you're emotional, but sometimes you have to write it down. You have to write it down and see what's wrong with that and what's right about that. And as a man, you got to make your decisions very wisely. Very wisely. Sometimes when you're making decisions, it can be very feminine or masculine. And whenever you're acting emotionally, that's very feminine. It's not masculine. And there'll be some comment of some person saying, well, men are supposed to feel how they feel and their emotions, and it doesn't matter. There's always that one comment. But, I'm just trying to give you some advice about what I think about emotions. Sometimes we just have too many emotions, too many thoughts about things that we don't want to experience, but we do experience them because things just happen in our life, right? There's always something going on. There's something that we don't want to experience, and sometimes we have to experience these emotions in these situations. But I hope you got something out of this. Final thought: make a decision when you're clear-headed. Thank you guys for watching. Be a stone, a gemstone. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment.